Hello students, in this lecture I will be discussing with you about precision full wave rectifier. In the last lecture I have discussed with you about half wave precision half wave rectifier in different formations of circuits. So to discuss precision full wave rectifier, you know that rectifier is basically such a device or electronic circuit which converts AC into DC. And when it comes to the precision full wave rectifier, that means it is nothing but the same full wave rectifier which we have seen in case of center tapped and bridge type configurations with the help of forming with the diodes. And the precision rectifier is where with the diodes, along with the diodes, if an op amp is used, or rather on the contrary we can say, with an op amp, if the diodes are connected in such a fashion that the whole circuit behaves like a rectifier and the output comes in a precise form. So that is the configuration for precision rectifier. And obviously likewise the same rectifier, it is also two types. One is half wave and full wave, in which half wave we have already discussed. So let us start once again with the same circuit of half wave rectifier. So this is the circuit where the input voltage is applied to the inverting terminal, which is V in, through a resistance R. Suppose this is R1, and the non-inverting terminal is grounded through a resistance ROM, which is offset minimizing resistor. The feedback resistance is RF, which is taken equal to R1 with the input resistance connected with the inverting terminal. And this operation is in the inverting mode, you can understand, because the input signal is connected to non-inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal is grounded. We have two diodes, D1 and D2, we had used for to understand its working and operation for half wave rectifier. And across this particular diode, the output voltage VO, final output, is obtained, and the op amp output is was denoted by VO prime. And this D2 is connected through the other way around with the inverting. D2 is connected with the output of the op amp, and also in through the other way around it is connected to the input. So this D2 is comprising another feedback path. So here what we are seeing, that this is the basic half wave rectifier actually. And using it, let us now move on to the full wave rectifier. Using this basic circuit of half wave rectifier, what we should do, we should be adding an adder circuit, or rather we can say a summer circuit, using op amp at the output of this half wave circuit. So what is full wave rectifier actually? Precision full wave rectifier, it is a half wave precision precision rectifier connected with a summer or adder circuit using op amp. So let us now connect a summer or adder circuit with the output of this half wave precision rectifier. Let us see how the circuit should be drawn. So what we are doing now, we have taken another op amp to form the adder circuit. And it will also work in the inverting mode. Now since it is an adder circuit, it will be minimum having two inputs. So one input is taken from the output VO of this precision half wave rectifier, and it is connected in this fashion with the inverting input, and the non-inverting input is once again grounded through a offset minimizing resistor ROM. The feedback resistor is connected as usual. This is taken same as, suppose this is RF prime, taken same as R1, all the same values, this R1 and RF, but this input which is connected from the output of the half wave precision rectifier to the inverting terminal have gone through a resistance in between, and the value of this resistance is taken as R by 2. Why it is taken as R by 2? Because it is as per the design of this precision full wave rectifier circuit. So the output of the precision half wave rectifier circuit is applied through a resistance R by 2 into the inverting input. The feedback resistor for this adder circuit is taken as the same value of this feedback resistance or this input resistance of the precision half wave rectifier, and the final output is taken, which is denoted by this VO. Now since this is VO, let us now, for in this case we are mentioning the output of the precision half wave rectifier as VO1, so that the final output can be denoted by VO to segregate or to demarcate between these two voltage values, VO and VO1. So from now on, for the precision full wave rectifier, the half wave rectifier output will be denoted by VO1, and the full wave rectifier, the final output should be by VO. So now, as you know that this is an adder circuit or summer, so it should be having another input. Now this input should be taken from where? The overall input of this whole rectifier, the overall input is V in. So we should be taken from here like this, a connection in this fashion through a resistance of value R1, the same value. All these resistance values are same, only this resistance which we have taken for the adder input, the other adder input, the other other input of this particular adder as R1 by 2. Rather, it should be called R1 by 2. This is R1 by 2 because all we have taken as R1. So this should be R1 by 2. So this so this is one input, and the other input is taken from V in, like this, in this fashion, gone through R1, connected through R1, and that is connected to the, once again, to the inverting terminal of op amp, of the second op amp. So this is nothing but the first op amp. This is op amp 1 and this is op amp 2. So two op amps are taken. This is for the half wave rectifier precision type, and this is for the adder, so that as a whole these two op amps will form the precision full wave rectifier. So now since this is an adder circuit, so they will, at least it will be having two inputs. So one input is taken from this V in directly through R1, and another is taken from the output of the precision half wave rectifier through R1 by 2. So this is the whole circuit, and the actual circuit for which we will be using for discussing everything about precision full wave rectifier. So now let us move on to get the output on the basis of the first part of the circuit, that is on the basis of this area, which is precision half wave rectifier. And once that output VO1 is established, we will be connecting that VO1 with this second part, and we will with the help of VO1 and second part we will analyze its operation, so that we can finally arrive at the final output of VO of precision full wave rectifier. So let us move on to see how the first part of this circuit is working, that is this portion for precision half wave rectifier first. So let us first once again draw the first part of the circuit. So this is now the circuit which is precision half wave rectifier. So this is precision half wave rectifier, which we have already discussed in the last class, and this is the first part of the circuit which we are using to explain the operation of full wave precision full wave rectifier. Now here these two diodes are doing two particular things. This diode D1 is actually the rectifying the input alternating signal. So that means the role of this D1 is rectification, and the role of this D2 is to decrease the PIV, which is peak inverse voltage. So please keep the role of these two diodes in your mind firmly. That means D1 is rectifying and D2 is just decreasing or just controlling the PIV of the rectifier. So to decrease the PIV of rectifier. So this is the roles of the two diodes. So now see let us see how this particular circuit will work with the help of a table. Its operation. In the first column we are taking V in the next column we are taking VO prime. Then what is the condition of D1, what is the condition of D2, and what is the final output. Now based on this table we will finally draw the waveform for this precision half wave rectifier to check or to understand actually how the circuit, as we are telling that this is a half wave rectifier, how the circuit is actually working as a precision half wave rectifier. So if now we have taken V in, so the input voltage, let us take first when V in is greater than 0, that is when the input signal is in the positive half cycle, that is it is increasing in positive direction. So in that case, if you look at this circuit, when this is positive, this positive voltage is applied to the inverting input of the op amp, and therefore at the output, which is VO prime, will be 180 degree out of phase with the input. So VO prime will be negative going, and also this VO prime will be going towards the negative saturation voltage minus VEE as per this operation of this op amp. So when Vin is greater than 0, we can say that VO prime will be going towards negative saturation minus Vsat, and we know minus Vsat is approximately equal to minus VEE. So that means when Vin is greater than 0, the output of the op amp VO prime will be going towards the negative saturation as per its operation. Now the tendency of output will be going towards the negative saturation, we should say. Now at this time, what will be the condition of the two diodes D1 and D2? So if this VO prime is negative, that means negative is connected to cathode of D1 and anode of D2. That means D1 will be conducting and D2 will be non-conducting. So as a result, through this D1, since D1 will be conducting, there will be a negative feedback path created through D1 and this RF resistance with this inverting input, and the other input and the other path which is created through D2 is open now because D2 is non-conducting. So we can say that D1 is on and D2 is off in this case. Now let us see how the equivalent circuit in this case will look like when this D1 is on and D2 is off. So this should be the equivalent circuit because only this path is created now with which is the negative feedback for this op amp, and from this node the output voltage, final output voltage VO1 is taken, and also so this is VO1, this is final output voltage in the table. So and the other path which should be another path for negative feedback through D2 is open now. So that's why this other path here is not shown over this. So this is the equivalent circuit for positive half cycle of Vin of input voltage. Okay, so therefore now how much will be VO1, this final output with based on this circuit, may be calculated. Now you can see if this is conducting, so this is a short circuit path and this circuit will be behaving as op amp working in inverting mode. So it is inverting amplifier, a basic inverting amplifier in this case. So therefore for basic inverting amplifier we know the gain is minus RF by R1, where RF is feedback resistance, R1 is input resistance. Here RF is R1 and R1 is R1. So this is actually minus R1 by R1. So therefore VO1 should be gain into Vin. So that means it is minus R1 by R1 into Vin. So this is nothing but minus Vin. So this VO1 is minus Vin. So we can say if the input is positive going signal, output is inverted form of that signal or 180 degree out of phase of that signal. So this is how in the positive half cycle of the input signal this circuit will behave. Now let us find for Vin less than 0, that means when it is negative going, the input signal is negative going or the working in the negative half cycle. Then what will happen? If this is negative to the inverting input, the output will be 180 degree out of phase, that means it is positive. So VO prime is positive, that means VO prime will be going towards plus Vsat, positive saturation, just opposite to the previous case, which is equal to plus VCC. The tendency of output of the op amp will be going towards or attaining the value of positive saturation in this case. That will be the tendency. And so if this is VO prime is positive, that means D1 is now, it is connected to cathode of D1, so D1 will be non-conducting, and anode of D2, so D2 will be conducting. So therefore now D1 will be off and D2 will be on. And so how the circuit will look like, the equivalent circuit in this case, it will look like this. So D1 is open now, so it is an open circuit. This is D1, as it is non-conducting, and the other diode, which is this one, it will be conducting. So we can show it like this, D2, and this is connected to the inverting terminal, creating the other feedback path. So this is the equivalent circuit for negative half cycle of V in. Okay. So now if we analyze this equivalent circuit in the negative half cycle, we can see that there is no current flow in this direction. This is VO prime. So there is no current flow in this direction because of D1 is being open circuit, is acting like an open circuit, and D2 is acting like a short because D2 is conducting, so the current flow will be through this path. So the negative feedback is established through this path. So therefore, how much the voltage VO will come here? As because this D2 is conducting, and suppose it is a silicon diode and having a cut-in voltage, suppose 0.7 volt. This D2 is having cut-in voltage 0.7 volt, as we have considered as silicon diode. So therefore, there will be a 0.7 voltage drop in this path, and so that 0.7 voltage measured with respect to ground will be the voltage for this VO prime. So VO prime will be nothing but 0.7 volt in this case, as because this diode is conducting, this D2 is only conducting, which is just providing the 0.7 volt across it, and that's why it is conducting. So therefore that voltage will be represented by this particular node, which is VO prime, that is equal to 0.7 volt. And the polarity across this diode, this side will be diode D2 should be anode side is plus and cathode side is minus. So the current will flow in this direction. Now it may be that because of this current flow, this will be going through this particular, because as we are as D2 is conducting, the current will flow through this path, and there will be no current through this path D1. So as a result, through this since there is no current through this path D1, that means for D1 to be non-conducting, VO1 should be 0. This can also be established that VO1 should be 0. So VO1 should be 0 in this case. So output will be, overall output of this rectifier will be 0. The same thing can be explained with the help of the working of this path also. Since D2 is conducting, so the current will be flown, the total current through in the output of the op-amp should be flowing through D2, and it will be reaching over here. Now you can see that this current will be flowing towards this RF to go to the output side, because the output current will be reaching output current from the output from the op-amp, generating such a current which can reach this VO1 output through either D1 or D2. In this case D1 is off, so there is no question of going no question of the current to go through this D1 into VO1. So the only way the current should reach VO1 through D2 via this path, reaching at this node, taking its right turn, and it is going into this RF equal to R1. Why? Because there is another node, and this node will be enabling the current to go into the op-amp. But you know, as op-amp is having very high input impedance, so the chances of current to go into the op-amp is very less. So major portion of the current will pass through RF and go over this VO1. Now let us see whether this will happen or not. You can see from here that since the non-inverting terminal is grounded and it is working in inverting mode, and there is the inverting terminal is connected in this fashion, so we know from the concept of virtual ground, this node voltage, suppose it is denoted by Vp, and this node voltage is denoted by Vn. So, and since this is op-amp, first op-amp, so this is Vp1 and Vn1, we can say that both this Vp1 and Vn1 is equal, and that is equal to 0 volt, which is nothing but V virtual ground concept. So by the virtual ground concept, we can say that the node voltage at this particular node is 0. So if this is a 0, that means from here no current should be generated to flow to the output side. So therefore the current which was supposed to be passed through this D2, the conduction current of D2 into the output side will be no more flowing, because 0 voltage at this particular node because of virtual ground. So no current should be generated from this node, and therefore there should not be any current going towards this output VO1. So therefore we can say that for Vin less than 0, in this case VO1 should always be at 0 volt. Now let us see how the two waveforms will look like. This is Vin. Let us take a sinusoidal wave. This is omega t, and suppose this is the output, which is VO1. So when the input for the positive half cycle, here we have seen that for positive half cycle the VO1 is minus Vin. The magnitude is same, but polarity is opposite. So, or the phase is opposite, 180 degree out of phase. So for this positive half cycle it should be like this. For the negative half cycle it is 0. So between these two, for the negative half cycle it is 0, no conduction, and again for the positive half cycle it will be oppositely polarized conduction. So therefore we can say, so this is the output. So for this Vin is greater than 0, and for this Vin is less than 0. So this is the waveform for the precision half wave rectifier. And why this is half wave? Because for a one complete cycle, only for one cycle the output is obtained, and for the other part of the half cycle there is no output. So therefore for one complete half cycle we are getting half of that cycle being reflected at the output. So it is half wave rectifier, and because of op amp is used to get this operation done, so it is called precision half wave rectifier. So this is the resultant output. Now if we want to draw the transfer curve of this particular operation, where in the x-axis we are plotting Vin and in the y-axis we are plotting output VO1 of the op amp. Now how it will look like when Vin is greater than 0, that means when Vin is positive in this quadrant, in this axis, this positive axis, the output is negative. That means in the y-axis the output is negative, and we know it should be a straight line. The tendency of this characteristic curve, transfer curve, is a straight line with a negative slope because of 180 degree out of phase. So the transfer curve will be look like this for Vin greater than 0. This should be the transfer curve. What is transfer curve? It is the characteristics plotted with Vin and V out. That means it is the characteristics plotted with the help of input voltage and output voltage for a particular circuit. That is called a transfer curve. So this will be a straight line with negative slope for Vin greater than 0. So this is the transfer curve. Now in the Vin is negative, when it is negative half cycle, Vin less than 0, that means during this portion we are seeing that it is actually 0. So this is the transfer curve for Vin less than 0. So for the whole transfer curve we can say that this is the whole transfer curve for precision half wave rectifier. Okay. Now if we want to find the average value VDC for this precision half wave rectifier, it is Vm by pi. So therefore, as we have seen in case of diode rectifiers, in case of precision rectifiers also, for half wave rectifier the VDC is average value is Vm by pi. So if we are given any signal from its peak amplitude, we can get Vm, and using this formula we can calculate the VDC of precision half wave rectifier. Now let us once again have a look at this particular equivalent circuit when Vin is greater than 0. in this case, the direction of current, if we connect a load resistance across this output terminal, which is RL here, and the current that is being flown in this circuit from this direction, that is generating from the ground, it will go in the reverse direction through this terminal, and it will go, since this is a short circuited path, so from this node this current will take this direction, in this direction, to go inside this op amp, and it will not go through this path because a resistance is present in this path, and between these two paths the current will be selecting this path because of D1 is conducting fully and this is short circuited path. So the whole of the current from this load resistance will be going inside this diode into the op amp, and in the op amp we know that the equivalent circuit of op amp is something like this. We have discussed in one of earlier classes. It is like this. A V in. So therefore the current which is coming from this direction, from outside, from the load resistance RL, in this fashion, through this path D1, it will coming inside this op amp and it will go through this into the ground, like this, into the ground. Now if V in is greater than 0, V in which is applied to be here, if this is so, and if this V in is greater than 0, that means the polarity of this voltage source will be minus at top and plus at bottom. So therefore the current will go in this reverse direction, in this direction. This is the direction of current because of 180-degree out of phase movement as V in is greater than 0. So therefore the current will flow in this direction, in the reverse direction, from RL into this op amp, into the ground through this voltage source, which is AV in. And this AV in, where A is the gain of the op amp and V in is the input voltage. So the output voltage AV in is nothing but VO. So the output voltage is denoted with the help of this voltage source AV in, as we have seen in case of our discussion regarding the equivalent circuit of op amp. So therefore this is how we can explain the precision half wave rectifier. Now let us move on to discuss how with the help of this VO1 we are having its two values for positive half cycle and negative half cycle. One is minus V in and another is 0. With the help of these two values, if we now apply these two values to the input of the summer or the adder in the next part of the circuit, we have seen in the next, this part we have discussed now. So this output VO1, output VO1 is to be added now as the input of this second part, which is a summer or a adder, whose other input is taken in this from V in this fashion through this path through a resistance R1, and this VO1 is applied to the inverting terminal of the second part of the op amp through a resistance R1 by 2, and R1 is the feedback resistance also. So let us see now how the second part will work with these two inputs minus V in and 0 respectively for the two half cycles of operation. So basically the precision full wave rectifier is comprised of two parts. The first part is half wave rectifier of precision type, which is alternately called super diode. This half wave rectifier, precision half wave rectifier, is alternately called super diode, where the input voltage V in cannot be able to directly switch on this or off these diodes. The switching of these diodes D1 and D2 is helped by the use of op amp, and therefore this is called super diode. As I once again repeat that merely just applying the voltage V in is not able to switch on or off or make the diodes in operation D1 and D2 on its own. and therefore it is taking the help of the op-amp to make the diode switch on and off, and therefore this type of circuit is called precision half wave rectifier or super diode operation. And the second part is adder or summer in this circuit, and these two parts comprising the precision full wave rectifier. Now let us move on to see the operation. We have seen the operation of super diode or half wave rectifier and its transfer curve already. Now let us move on to add the output VO1, which we have found in this fashion for 2 half cycles, into the input, non-inverting input of the adder. So let us once again draw the second part of the diagram for precision full wave rectifier. So at one input through R1 by 2 use of this resistance, we have applied the input Vin, and this is the output. As you can once again refer to this original diagram here, what we are seeing that for the second op-amp, one input is coming from this portion through R1 by 2, and which is connected to this VO1, and the other input is coming through this resistance R1 from directly from Vin. From here it is connected in this one. So at one input Vin is applied through resistance R1 at the inverting input of the second op-amp, and the other input at the inverting input or in the inverting terminal is from VO1 through R1 by 2. So this is nothing but VO1, not Vin. This is VO1 we have found earlier for half wave rectifier. Through R1 by 2 is connected to inverting terminal, and the other input to the inverting terminal is connected with a resistance R1 through a resistance R1 where the input voltage Vin has been applied, and the output is final output, which is VO in this case. And here, as usual, the second terminal is once again, the non-inverting terminal is grounded. So we are just drawing this second part only, this portion of the circuit of full wave rectifier, the summer part or the adder part. So this is in non-inverting terminal connected in to ground through ROM, and the feedback path is connected through a resistance RF equal to R1 to the output of the op-amp. And finally we can show a load resistance RL to measure the output VO. So this is VO. So this is the circuit, the second part of the circuit, and this is op-amp number 2. So this is the summer part of the summer or adder part of the full wave rectifier precision type. Now let us find out VO, its mathematical expression, and for that we may adopt two approaches. One approach is by applying superposition theorem, that is taking one source at a time and nullifying the effect of the other source at that time, or we may apply at this node KCL. If we apply KCL, then by the concept of virtual ground, since this terminal is at virtual is connected to the non-inverting terminal is connected to ground through ROM, so therefore this is at 0 voltage, and therefore by virtual ground concept, as it is working in inverting mode, this op-amp, so this node is also at virtual ground and these two nodes will be at virtual ground. So if this node is having voltage Vp2 and this is having voltage Vn2, so this Vp2 is equal to Vn2. That means positive, P means for non-inverting and N means for inverting, positive and negative terminals. So therefore this is established from virtual ground concept. So therefore if this is this node voltage is 0 volt, that means if we apply KCL over here, so we can write three equations. 0 minus VO1 divided by R1 by 2 plus 0 minus V in divided by R1 is equal to 0 minus VO divided by R1, because if we consider these as the incoming current and these two must be outgoing, or if we consider these two as incoming current and this must be outgoing. Okay, so in whatever way, this considering this node at 0 volt because of virtual ground, we can write three node equations using KCL. Apart from that, if we apply superposition theorem, we can also write this equation considering using superposition theorem. Considering VO1 working and V in is absent, then what equation we can write? Then the circuit will take the form as an inverting amplifier with VO1 working, V in is connected to ground, is absent means it is grounded. If that is so, or rather we can say absent also, or not working. So in that case, or we can say it as shorted to ground. So therefore, since it is voltage source, it is shorted to ground, in this case V in. So we can write what is VO for V in working. VO is, since it is a non-inverting amplifier, so we know the gain is minus RF by R1. What is RF? It is R1 divided by R1. R1 means the input resistance, which is R1 by 2. So minus R1 by 2 into VO1. And when V in is working, VO1 is shorted to ground. Applying superposition theorem, VO should be minus, similarly it is again inverting amplifier, R1 by, now this arm is this path is working, this voltage source is working and this is grounded, so this is R1 by R1 into V in, what is input voltage? V in. So by superposition theorem, we should be finally finding the output voltage VO as sum of these two voltages. This is one is suppose this is VO1, VO dash, and this is VO double dash. So this is VO is VO dash plus VO double dash by superposition. So therefore we can find from here VO is given by, what is VO1? What is VO dash? It is R1 cancels, and this is minus 2 VO1 minus 2 VO1, and in the second case R1 cancels, VO double dash is minus V in. So minus 2 VO1 plus minus V in. Now if we consider, if we take minus as common, so this is 2 VO1 plus V in. So if we now complete the table of operation, V in, VO dash, D1, D2, then VO1 and VO. Okay. So if V in is greater than 0 for positive half cycle of operation, what we have seen, that VO prime is going towards minus Vsat, D1 is on, D2 is off, and what is VO1? It is minus V in. we have seen earlier, it is minus Vin, and in this case so this is minus Vin. Now when Vin is less than 0, it is going towards positive saturation, VO dash, D1 is off, D2 is on, and VO1 is 0. VO1 is 0. So now using this table, this is up to this is based on half wave rectifier, precision half wave rectifier. Now if we add VO with this table, other values of this table, we should be getting precision full wave rectifier. So using these values, we need to find VO for positive and negative half cycle of operation to understand the overall scenario for precision full wave rectifier. Now let us put in this expression, suppose this, give a name of this equation, equation 1. So just put VO1 values in equation 1. So for positive half cycle, when Vin is greater than 0, we are seeing that VO1 is minus Vin. So therefore if we put minus Vin instead of VO1 in this equation, VO should be minus 2. VO1 is nothing but minus Vin. So minus 2 Vin plus Vin, and this is minus of minus Vin. So this is Vin. So in the table, let us write VO as Vin. Now for negative half cycle, similarly, for Vin less than 0, what is VO? We should be putting in this case VO1 equal to 0. So put VO1 equal to 0. So this is here VO1 was how much? Minus Vin, and here VO1 is 0. So this is VO should be minus 2 into 0 plus Vin. So it means VO is minus Vin. So VO is minus Vin. So we can say that for both the cycles of operation, positive and negative half cycles, VO is either Vin or minus Vin. So we can say VO is mod of Vin in this case. Now if we want to draw the waveforms for the precision full wave rectifier, this is Vin omega t, and if a sinusoidal input is taken in this way, the output waveform should be like this. This is VO. First we should be drawing VO1 and then we should be drawing VO to compare the three. So this is for precision half wave rectifier, and it will look like, as we know, for the positive half cycle, it is VO1 is minus Vin. So it is something like this, and for negative half cycle it is 0. So this is how we have seen in case of half wave rectifier, the output look like this. The output looks like this. And for precision full wave rectifier, so this is precision half wave rectifier. For precision full wave rectifier, the output should be now need to be drawn. For positive half cycle, it is Vin. So it should be, output should be exact replica of the input. So input is positive going half cycle. So output should be positive going half cycle. Exactly same with the same phase. And in the negative half cycle, output is minus Vin. That means whatever should be the V in, the output should be 180 degree out of phase with that. That means in terms of amplitude it should be exactly the same replica of input, but the phase should be 180 degree opposite in terms of input. So for the negative half cycle, if the phase is negative, that means at the output the phase should be negative of negative, that means positive. So it should be like this. So for the negative half cycle of input, the output of the precision full wave rectifier is positive half cycle. So once again we will find this. So what we have obtained in this way, we have obtained the positive, all positive output. So this is, as it is similar to the full wave rectified output. So this is the rectified output for precision full wave rectifier, and this is the rectified output for precision half wave rectifier. So in this way we can find the input and output waveforms of both precision full wave and half wave rectifiers. Now how should the transfer curve will look like? This is V in and this is VO. For precision half wave rectifier, we have seen the transfer curve lies one in the fourth quadrant for positive half cycle, and for negative half cycle it is grazing the second and third quadrant boundary. Okay, but in this case let us see how the transfer curve for precision full wave rectifier will look like. Transfer curve for precision full wave rectifier will look like, as we can see that for positive half cycle of input voltage, here the output is same, that means it is same as V in. So if this is the output y axis, the characteristic, the transfer curve will look like a straight line at 45 degree angle with the x axis with slope 1 and intercept 0. So this is when V in is greater than 0 during positive half cycle of operation, and for negative half cycle of operation output is same in magnitude of the input but in 180 degree out of phase with the input. So it should be, so at negative means in this direction V in will be there and output will be in this direction, output will be positive. So the output will be at 45 degree angle, but it is in the second quadrant for V in greater than 0, V in less than 0, and in this case the slope is minus 1 and intercept is 0. So we can see for a positive for a precision full wave rectifier, the transfer operation is lying in the first and second quadrant, unlike the half wave rectifier where we have seen the operation is lying in fourth quadrant, and in other case it is at the boundary, it is grazing the boundary of second and third quadrant. So the two formation of the two transfer curves are different for precision half wave and full wave rectifier. So this is the transfer curve of precision full wave rectifier for positive half cycle. It is, the operation is in the first quadrant for slope 1 and V in greater than 0, and for second quadrant operation slope is minus 1 when V in is less than 0. The transfer curve is, if V in is increased negatively, VO is increased positively, and in this case both V in and VO is increased positively. So this is the transfer characteristics of precision full wave rectifier. Now if we want to find the VDC for precision full wave rectifier, we know it is 2 Vm by pi, where Vm is the peak value of the applied input voltage. So if we know whatever is given in terms of the input signal waveform, if we pick up the peak value of the signal from the given expression or the given equation and put over this, we can easily calculate the DC or average value for precision full wave rectifier using op-amp. One thing you should remember that these explanations of full wave and half wave precision rectifier using op-amp is based on small signal operation. That means the input signal V in is taken as is considered as a small signal. And from this all these explanations, as we have seen that we can calculate similarly the average value of both the rectifiers, and also we can calculate the RMS value and ripple factor. Similarly, as we have seen in case of normal rectifiers, we can calculate the same for this rectifiers also in case of precision type. So this is all about we have to discuss in terms of half wave and full wave precision rectifier using op amp. Hope you have understood and enjoyed. Thank you.